In today's video, we're going to do a side-by-side comparison of the FHD digital camcorder versus the Canon Vixia RF800. So I had a friend of mine bought this camera and he asked me to review it, and he sent it to me, and it's got quite a few features that I'm pretty excited about, and I want to see how it compares to the Canon. And there's a product link in the description below. So the Canon runs about $250 or so on Amazon, and compared that to the FHD, he only paid about $120, so that's a really big difference in price. So we were talking about this camera last week, and one of the things we were concerned about is that the FHD has a fixed lens, and so I want to know whether this is a problem or not. So let's dive in and take a look at the features. So let's open this and take a look and see what we have in the box here. The first thing I want to show you is that this camera comes with a stereo microphone with a windscreen, and I just couldn't hardly believe it because that's surely extra for the Canon. And it mounts with a hot shoe, and just use a small little cable here that connects to the back of the camera, and you're ready to go. Now, taking a look at the Canon, we do have a mic input, and I always found that that was important, but you have to pay extra for the external microphone. And the problem is that I found that using the Canon, the internal microphone was fairly poor. So you really do need the external mic. So I'd say stacked up side by side that the FHD wins because it comes with its own stereo microphone. The next feature I want to look at is that the FHD comes with its own infrared remote control. And that's important because you can control it remotely. And if you compare that side by side with the Canon, there is no remote control. So the FHD wins regarding this feature. The next feature I want to look at is how you charge the battery. Now, opening this little flap on the back, there are inputs, and you can see at the bottom is a standard USB port, and that's how you charge this camera. So here is a USB adapter, and you probably already have one of these, but if you compare this to the Canon, you're going to have to use their proprietary plug. So consider traveling with these two cameras. If you take the Canon, you're going to have to pack this extra adapter, and if you don't have it, you are toast. You're not going to be able to charge your battery. But with this little FHD, it's just standard, and you probably already have it. All you need is a USB cable. The next thing we're going to look at are the batteries. The FHD comes with two 800 milliamp hour batteries. And when we compare that to the Canon, it comes with a single 2685 milliamp hour battery. So yes, you have two batteries with the FHD, but the battery on the Canon, as you can see, it just by its size and also its spec, it's over double the capacity. So I would say the winner here is the Canon. So the next thing I want to look at is the optical zoom. The Canon has 32 times optical zoom, and the FHD has none. So clearly, the Canon wins on optical zoom. The next feature I want to look at is its focusing capability. Now, when we look at the Canon, it does have a manual focus capability. It is on the screen. It's a little bit hard to use, but it does work. Now, when we compare that to the FHD, there is no focusing whatsoever. The lens is fixed, and it's designed to work from 3 feet to infinity. And we're going to see just how well that performs a little bit later on, because this is one of the big questions that we had. So the winner here, clearly, at the moment anyway, is the Canon, because it at least has the ability to focus the lens. Now, we need this for vlogging, both myself and my friends. So one of the requirements here is the ability to tilt the lens forward so that you can see yourself when you're recording. And both cameras have this ability. So there is no clear winner regarding the screen. Now here's a subtle feature that you may not have noticed on the Canon, but look at the top here. There is no hot shoe mount at all. So if you want to put on an external microphone on this camera, you're going to have to get a bracket that attaches on the bottom, and that bracket flips around on top and then you can put your external microphone there. Now compare that to the FHD. Look, it's got its built-in hot shoe right there. You are ready to go. You don't have to buy a bracket, and that's going to save you some money here. So I think that's pretty important. So the winner here is the FHD. The next feature I want to talk about is the Wi-Fi capability. Now the FHD has built-in Wi-Fi, and what this means is that you can connect it to an app to your iOS or Android device, and you can control the camera from that. That feature is not available on the Canon, at least not in this model. You have to spend considerably more money to get that feature. So the winner here is the FHD. The next feature I want to talk about is the infrared capability. And let's open the lens cap here and take a look. You can see that the FHD has built-in infrared lights so that you can film in complete darkness. And if you compare that to the Canon, well, it's simply not there. So the winner clearly here for infrared is the FHD. So I have both video cameras plugged into the power supply here, and I want to show you an important difference between the two. You can record both of them when they're plugged in. The great thing about the FHD is that this will also charge the battery, and it'll do that at the same time, and you can see the flashing down there, and that means it's charging. When you plug in the Canon to a power supply, it does not charge the battery. The only way to charge the battery is to shut the unit off. I'll go ahead and shut it off. And there is the charge indicator. So that's a problem in my view with the Canon, and a great feature for this one because you can charge and record at the same time. Alright, now we are ready to move on to our field tests, and I have both cameras mounted on a board side by side, and I split the screen. The left view is the FHD and the right view is the Canon. So I went down to the dog part, and I thought this would be a good test to try and film my dog. And she's pretty wiggly, so you just never know what's going to happen. So when I went back and looked at the final footage, I was pretty impressed with the ability of the FHD to get some good images. And keep in mind that this is $100 cheaper than the Canon. So we're going to move on now to see how well it focuses. Alright, let's take a look here. Right now I'm at 2 feet from the subject. And now 4 feet. And finally 8 feet. So as you can see, the FHD does okay. There's a little more camera shake with the FHD, but as far as it focuses, it's pretty well in focus. Now, here's my dog. She's really hard to photograph, but I'll do the best I can. Sit. Sit. Stay. So I think this is actually pretty good. There's a lot of contrast with her white fur, but you can still clearly see her. Okay, good dog. Okay. So anyway, here are some potted plants, a few things on the deck. You can make them out pretty clearly. Now the tarp on the grill is a little bit hard to see because it's all black. But all in all, you can see things pretty well. So from this perspective, I think this does a pretty good job with its infrared capability. So I hope you've enjoyed this video, and there's a product link in the description below. If you have any questions about this product, leave me a comment and I'll get right back to you. And be sure to subscribe to my channel.